Welcome back to IAS Net Study. This is the 44th video and this is the ethics series. We were discussing 6th unit ethics in public administration, and this is the last video in this 6th unit discussion. And let's get into the discussion of this very small topic, corporate governance. And let's get into the discussion. Governance, we all talked about governance so many times. We talked about governance, then the connection to good governance, then the connection to the ethical governance. Now we are connecting the corporate to the governance. Governance is what? Governance is that the manner in which power is exercised, and this power is exercised, the main focus is the socio-economic development of a country. This is what governance talk about. And what is this corporate governance? Usually corporate entities or the company's business establishment, what exactly their ultimate goal is? That it is not the development of the country, it is the primary objective is the profit making. See, for a public entity, it is accessibility of our services, affordability of a service to the citizens of the country. But this is not the case for business entities or private institutions or private companies. Here, private companies, they work for the profit. I am investing my money. I want to see the profit out of it. I want to make money out of it. That is the reason I am investing my money. So here, it works on a profit motive here. But corporate governance here also, there are set of procedures, there are set of processes, there are set of rules and principles, and here it ensures that company's power is exercised in a way that works in the best interest of all the stakeholders. That is what the corporate governance is, a set of rules that ensure company is managed in best interest of all the stakeholders. Whenever you think of stakeholders, who are the stakeholders? Usually clients of a company, customers, promoters, investors, shareholders. All these people are considered as a stakeholders. And corporate governance ensure that companies managed, corporation entity is managed in a way that it is managed in a best interest of all these stakeholders. This is what corporate governance is talking about. If you ensure corporate governance, good corporate governance, this is going to ensure stable growth of a entity, and it is going to build that trust. It is going to ensure ethical functioning of a company. Ultimately, you have to safeguard the stakeholder interest. How do you safeguard it? Through the corporate governance. And there are three key aspects you need to keep in mind with respect to corporate governance. If these three key aspects are there, then you can consider these corporate governance as a good corporate governance. First is transparency, because whatever the actions, decisions you take, whatever the implementations you make, that should be very well open to all the stakeholders. It has to be communicated effectively to all the stakeholders. Second is accountability. You are a head of this company, and it is your responsibility to answer all your stakeholders, so you must ensure accountability factor also. This is another important aspect you need to keep in mind, and when under corporate governance. Then corporate responsibility also. Ultimately, corporate entity ultimate aim is the profit making, but does not mean that you don't have any responsibility towards anybody. No, you have a environmental responsibility, you have civic responsibility, you have political responsibility. Directly or indirectly, you have to uphold all these, you have to fulfill all these responsibilities also. So any corporate governance in inculcates or integrates these three key aspects in their set of rules, systems of procedures, then this is considered as a good corporate governance, right? Now, let's see some of the principles on which corporate governance should be based on. The first is there should be a def, uh, uh, definite recognition of roles and responsibilities. What this particular person, what is his role and what is the responsibility, what he has to fulfill as a part of this entity. That there should be clear definition of that, and there should not be any overlapping phenomena, and there should be every role should clearly be recognized. It should clearly publish also. This is one thing. And decision making should be based on these ethical values. Ethical decision making should be there at every level of decision making. It is not only at the management level, even at the lower managerial level also, your decision making should be based on ethical values. And integrity, this is very important value, whether it is private institution or the public institution. Integrity is very much important, and here, since the objective is profit motive, integrity in financial reporting. See, entire working is based on the finances, so there should be an integrity of finances, integrity. See, financial reporting is proper integrity has been shown in financial reporting. It means that stakeholders and the shareholders, they are going to trust you, and it ensures corporate governance is strong. There is a participation from these people also. They know what is the health of this company. Investors will get to know what is the finances of the company. So it maintain structures to independently, there should be a separate independent structures to verify and safeguard financial reporting integrity. And timely and balanced discourse, it is nothing but transparency. And the shareholders, right, shareholders, we talked about all the stakeholders, even these stake shareholders and the stakeholders rights should be protected, and there should be an ensuring factor to make sure that there is no compromise of these rights of these stakeholders. And board and management effect, here the issues effectiveness, efficiency, effectiveness, this also has to be maintained, because even these people, they have invested time, they have invested their money, they have invested their resources. So efficiency, excellency, effectiveness is another criteria that has to be inculcated under the corporate governance. And stakeholder obligations, recognize and fulfill legal and other obligations towards all legitimate stakeholders. And these are certain principles corporate governance should be based on. Our companies should follow these things. Now, let's see the legal framework of corporate governance in India. The first is a legal framework in the sense that the business entities, they follow certain rules made by parliament. And let's see these important rules that applies on these business entities, these private business entities. The first is Companies Act 2013. Before that, we had Companies Act of 1956, that is replaced by Companies Act of 2013. And this seeks to align Indian corporate governance and regulatory practices with global standard. Whatever the global international standards are there, India also ensuring these standards are maintained in the country also, because international investment also comes into the country. So you have to maintain that global standards. And it emphasizes, and this is the important, this Company Act, from ethics perspective, it emphasizes transparency, it emphasizes accountability, and it emphasizes protection of stakeholder interest. In the first slide, we talked about these three key aspects: transparency, accountability, corporate responsibility. These things are safeguarded by Companies Act of 2013. And we have one more regulation here, SEBI Act of 1992. SEBI 1992, it creates a body, SEBI, established a SEBI. And this is a regulatory body. It is an independent capital market regulatory body. See, these are all from GS perspective, from ethics perspective, what exactly it makes sure that it ensures fair practices, it promotes investor confidence here. The ultimate objective is to protect investors in securities and regulate the security market. I am investing my money in certain companies in the stock market. My interest has to be protected. That is what the SEBI does. But here, what exactly it is ensuring? It is ensuring the fair practices. It is ensuring the my trust and confidence in the particular corporate entity. And Depository Act of 1996, it is established share and security depository. Again, what you have to focus here, it provides legal framework for dematerialization of securities, simplifies trading, transfer and settlement security. Ultimately, you have to uh, here also, it is ensuring your trust, it is ensuring transparency, it is ensuring accountability, it is ensuring corporate responsibility. So these are legal entities ensuring these three aspects, these four aspects, right? Now let's talk about one more important concept: corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility, I'll give the basic understanding what exactly corporate social responsibility. If a company is making certain level of profits, then government has made it mandatory that around 2% of your profit, not the transaction, 2% of your profit has to be utilized for some kind of socio-economic activity. So here you are a separate business entity, private entity, but you are making profit crossing certain threshold. After this threshold has been crossed, now 2% of your profit has to be utilized for socio-economic aspect of a country, socio-economic developmental aspect of a country. So here it is a ethical responsibility, it is a moral responsibility on those profitable companies to give back something to the society, to contribute positively to the society. It is, see, all these companies, they follow the rules and regulations. We have SEBI, we have Companies Act 2013, they all follow depository acts, they all follow all these legal statutory laws. But beyond that, there is ethical responsibility, there is a social responsibility, and CSR, this is a guideline, or this is a pathway to fulfill these social responsibilities here. And this monitor and ensure alignment with law, ethical standard, and international norms. Ultimately, it is inculcating, it is integrating the concept of compassion, the concept of empathy, the concept of dedication towards the nation development, corporate social responsibility. And if you look at the scope of CSR programs, you can involve in see, these programs involve community development. There are initiations with respect to education, environment, healthcare, social welfare activities. All these things can be incorporated under corporate social responsibility. Now, if we look at the historical context, even during the ancient period, also the ancient very rich merchants, they used to contribute wealth for society. Their intention is to help the society, give some positive contribution to it. They used to contribute wealth for the temples, and they used to help during the famines, floods, and the epidemic. These kind of situation, they used to help that. They had the money and they used to help the people. And at the independence also, there are so many business entities, they started educational institutions, they started small industries to provide employments, they started training institutions. And even Gandhi also, if you go through the seven sins mentioned by Gandhi, even he also talked about morality in business. If there is no morality, then this is going to be considered as a sin. So he also talked about it. So even during the independence, during independence, even after independence also, these aspect of corporate social responsibility, even the terminology may not be there, but it was there at the social level. So from the historical level, during the independence time, even during the struggle also, there were contributions, social contributions were there at the business entities or the rich personalities at that point of time. And government has given guidelines with respect to CSR. Ministry of Corporate Affairs, it has it, seen 2000, way back in 2009 only, CSR has been introduced. It was voluntary in nature, but later on it has become mandatory, especially if the company crosses a certain level of threshold. So it is incorporated under 2013 Companies Act. Now every company should have CSR committee, and this CSR committee should have 3 directors, include one independent director. Independent director, it means that director who is not working in that particular company. So this is the government set guidelines and the setup of CSR and CSR committees. Now there are schedule of activities, are the schedule 7. It has mentioned certain activities where these companies can involve or these companies can invest. Eradicating poverty, they can take steps with respect to eradicating hunger and poverty, promotion of education, gender equality and women empowerment, reducing child mortality and improving maternal health, combating HIV, malaria and other diseases, ensuring environment sustainability, employment, enhancing vocational skills, social business project, contribution to Pradhan Mantri National Relief Fund. These are some of the where you can choose any of these activities and you can contribute your, give that social or economic contribution in these sectors. So this is, yeah, there is one more thing I want to talk about, corporate social responsibility. That is not corporate social responsibility. It is with respect to corporate governance. You need to remember, one, Government of India has constituted one committee. The name of committee is that Kotak Committee. Quota committee has given certain guidelines with respect to corporate governance. See, what I'll do is, they are not going to ask you in the examination, but maybe there are chances that if the question comes with respect to corporate business or CSR, you can use it as a conclusion materials there, and even in the ethics also you can use it as a conclusion material. So what exactly Kota committee talks about corporate governance? It has given certain recommendations. Recommendation is that there should be independent directors and no meeting without these independent directors, and there should be a proper auditing is there. It means that, I mean to say that transparency has to be maintained, not at the theory level, not at the uh, just by words. Even you have to implement these aspects at your working level also. And strengthening the regulator should have more control towards corporate governance, and minority investors, their interest has to be protected, and board has a final say, especially with respect to public sector unit. It is not the government, board has a final say. So these are some of the recommendations given by Kota committee. See, ultimately these things are not required in ethics, in the answer writing. Ultimately what you can write is, it is ensuring transparency, it is ensuring accountability, it is ensuring corporate responsibility, the three key aspects whatever we talked about. See, even the laws by government of India, they are talking about these three key aspects. CSR is talking about these three key aspects, and even Kota committee is, it is also talking about these three key aspects: corporate responsibility, accountability, and transparency. And other some principles, go through with these principles, remember these principles. If the question is more than 10 marks, if the question is more than 10 for 10 marks, you can mention these principles also. I think this would cover corporate governance. I think this would be sufficient. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you guys in the next video. We are going to start the probity, and this covers almost 90% of your ethics syllabus. And for case studies, go through with the PYQs, previous year solved paper. Till now, till 2018, we have covered it. And after 1920, the next PYQs are also going to be solved very soon. And thank you so much for listening. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.